Tristan, Franz, and the rest of Team Germany are into the quarterfinals. We'll do a full breakdown of Tristan and Franz's game against Portugal in just a moment. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. You got to do the normal YouTube thing, so hit that like button, share the video, drop a comment below, and hit subscribe. Let's get started with Franz's stats from the game. In 27 minutes and 45 seconds, Franz scored a team high 16 points on 4 of 11 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3, also a team high 7 rebounds, and a team high 5 assists. This wasn't the most efficient game from Franz. Obviously, all of Team Germany kind of struggled, at least struggled compared to what they did in the group stages. He was still able to get to the rim. A lot of his three-pointers were in the flow of the offense, which was great to see. He just didn't make any of the 4 that he shot. Otherwise, he was a facilitator. Again, he led the team with 5 assists, a couple nice passes to Daniel Tice, and being able to set up some of his other teammates. So in that respect, it was a very good game. Both him and Schroeder scored 16 points. I think in the end, he had the better game, of course, because Schroeder had many more turnovers. Franz with only 1 turnover. So I would say it was a okay game from Franz, but it definitely wasn't his A game. Hopefully, him and the rest of Team Germany play better in the next round. Now, Tristan's stats. I was surprised a bit at how little Tristan played in this game, but we'll talk about that in a moment. In 14 minutes, he scored 11 points on 4 of 4 from the field and 3 of 3 from three-point land, with 3 rebounds, no assists, and 1 steal and no blocks. With the injuries that they sustained, I expected that Tristan's role was going to be a bit more expanded in this game. Portugal wasn't a very big team, so they weren't going to punish with a big power forward or a big small forward or anything like that. So I thought that Tristan would play a little bit more with Franz, and Franz would be a bit more at the 4. But for whatever reason, that just is not what happened. So Tristan, most of these minutes came in the fourth quarter when the game started to finally be out of reach, and he still was able to perform as always. I think Tristan is doing a good job of staying within the offense, not forcing things too often. As we saw in the group stages, there were a lot of times where he did force a few threes and he did force some drives, but in this game, he did a great job of just playing within the offense. It was a closer game. Maybe that's why he didn't play as much in the third quarter and in the first half, because the game was a little bit closer than I think most people expected. Portugal did a great job of just mucking it up a little bit, but realistically, it was just Team Germany missing 3-pointers. They shot at one point, they were 1 of 24 from 3. Feels a little eerily similar to the way the Magic shot last year, but overall, they in the end were able to get up to 28% shooting. They were able to make 10 in the basically most of the fourth quarter. They were just shooting threes and hitting them. So that's why the score looked wider than it was, because it was actually a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter. So either way, Tristan, I felt, had a pretty good game in his role. I thought it would be a more expanded role, but in the end, he did exactly what's going to be asked of him on the Magic this upcoming season. If we look at their stats for the EuroBasket so far, if we added this past game into it, now Franz is averaging 20.7 points per game, about 6 rebounds and 4 assists on 53% shooting from the field and 33% from 3. He's shot only 1 of his last 9, so that's definitely taken his percentage has taken a bit of a hit in the last couple games, and he's shooting 84% from the free throw line. So he's back on track in the free throw line. Tristan is averaging about 11 points per game, about 4 rebounds, and an assist per game on 56% shooting and 50% from 3, with the 3 for 3 from the 3-point line today. Now he's up to 50% in the tournament, which is great to see, and 86% from the free throw line on not many attempts on there. So, all in all, I think obviously Team Germany has played well in the tournament so far. This was their worst game, and they still scored 85 points in a 40-minute game. So that just shows you just how well their offense has been humming so far, and how when it gets rolling like it did in the fourth quarter there, it's just an avalanche of points. Franz's role on the German national team is much more expanded than it is with the Magic. Here, he doesn't have to be the facilitator as much because there is a true point guard in Schroeder. But as we saw in this past game, he can be that person doing that role. So that's always a positive. His jump shot is what it is still. It's still a work in progress. And if he can shoot 33% from 3-point land this year, it's still an improvement over last year, but let's hope that he can get that creeping up a little bit more over the course of the Orlando Magic season. Tristan has stayed within his role. Whenever he's open, he's been shooting. It's normally he starts launching at the very end of games, uh, unnecessary threes, let's say, just when they're not in the flow of the offense. But as we saw, maybe all that practice in the group stages, he was able to make a few of those 3-pointers later on in the game here to really put it out of reach. So I'd say both guys have done a good job so far in making sure that what they need to develop in this summer, they've continued to develop. Obviously, the big thing is Franz's shooting. Of course, that's going to be the talking point of everything, because without him shooting threes, then the perception of him is going to be like, oh, he's not going to be as great a player as he can be. So let's just hope that eventually that comes around for him. Now, if we do the video, so just to reiterate what happens and why the video pauses as often as it does. Due to copyright with FIBA is particular in making sure that their content isn't just posted on YouTube. So again, that's fair enough. So what I have to do when I put these videos together is I'm freezing it every little bit. So that's how it's able to be uploaded on YouTube. So here is Franz's first three, and it's going to be right in the flow of the offense. It wasn't one of those dribble, 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 step back threes. It was actually right here. And again, he needs to catch and shoot. That's something that he's going to have to be able to do more with the Magic, just because with the additional ball handlers that we have on the team now, I really would rather him be in the corner there and be able to shoot and catch and shoot off the corner. But he comes over to the wing here above the break, barely grazes iron there. So that one wasn't the greatest. But I do like that it was catch and shoot, and I do like that it was in rhythm instead of doing his instead of him off the dribble, 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 and do all that. So those are positives. So even if he didn't make the shots, it still was good. And there really wasn't a hit since he was covered. Now, here he's in the block. He was posting up a good amount. Again, that's something he's been trying to work on this off season, and he's been incorporating it in EuroBasket. So here he has the guy on his hip. A double team comes because the guy's much smaller than he is. So once Keita comes up, then Tice is right there. Nice, easy alley oop. So Franz was pushing the pace as always. It just wasn't as efficient in this game as it had been in the group stage. So here he is, just going ahead of the field. Nice, easy lay in there. So again, there's another one of his threes. It's kind of a grenade. See, only 2.2 seconds left, so he has to unload it quickly. Now it's a catch and shoot. He sets his feet. I think another one. This is another good one. He just misses it. Like, it's right on line. It has a pretty good loft. He just missed it, and that's just the way it's going to be sometimes. I think those are the shots that we really want him to be taking as much as possible. Again, ideally him in the corner, because he has an okay percentage from the corner as opposed to being above the break, which is not necessarily his strong suit. Obviously, we like for him to get better at that, but in the meantime, as he's developing that, might as well hit the shot that you already can hit. Here he goes. He turns the corner here against the defender. Nothing they can do. Creative as always around the basket. Here he goes. Now this is going to be one of the little step backs. But again, if you do one or two of these a game, that's just fine. No hitch, nice and smooth. Just missed it. Again in the blocks that we talked about. he was able to take a good advantage of that this in this game. Missed that one, missed it again, but shot with his left also. So for me, that's why it wasn't the most efficient game, but he did a lot of the things that are building blocks to what will continue to help him develop. Catch and shoots, ideally from the corner, but it was above the break, but a catch and shoot, posting up and shooting with his left. So you saw on there, he got the defender. The defender wasn't able really to do anything because he was shooting with his left hand. Whenever he shoots with his right hand on the left side of the basket, obviously he's bringing in the defender because he's so long. If he uses his left hand, then as you saw, they weren't able to really contest it. He just missed it, but they were not able to contest it, and that's what you want. You want the defender to be out of the play, and it's mostly just on you to make the shot. So here it's another one of his threes. Pretty good. Oof, just a little short. Again, for me, all four of his 3 pointers, even that one step back, he's going to do that every so often, and that's fine. At that point, the whole team was cold. As I said, they were only 1 of 24 at one point from three. So all four of his threes, I thought, were good 3-point shots, and he didn't have the hitch in them, which is great. Now, again, if he has the hitch, like I've said many times, hashtag embrace the hitch. We need to make sure that whatever he needs to be able to make his 3 pointers, if it's a hitch, no hitch, whatever, just hit them. That's all that matters in the end. And again, the hitch that he has now is not nearly as bad as it was last year. So we can take whatever he has at the moment and run with it. Here's a long rebound. And look at this nice pass with the left hand to Schroeder. Takes his sweet time. As you see, it was a close game all the way through the first half. Actually, even through the third quarter, it was a pretty close game. So every basket did matter at that point. Another long rebound, and Franz, just faster than everybody, is able to get ahead of everyone and dunk the ball here. Ball again. No one stops the ball. If you don't stop the ball against Franz, he's just going to eat you up. And that's basically what happened in each one of his layups. No one stopped the ball. Here's another one. I really like how he's staying with the ball in his left hand. Again, he's keeping the defender out of the play ultimately because Franz is so long. Again, he's able to just keep it on his left and then even pass it with his left to Tice. And that right there just allows only him and Tice to be able to be involved in the play. And that's a nice, easy one. So those are Franz's highlights from the game. As you saw, some facilitating, some running still. His shot, he didn't make any of his shots, but I think for me, all four of those 3 pointers were good. The first one was probably the worst one in that it just was the most short, and so he didn't have as much loft in it. The rest of them, for me, catch and shoots, or the little step back one, they were all online. He just missed it. Pretty smooth follow through as well. So sometimes you just miss them. That's it. It's not the end of the world. Now for Tristan, so as I mentioned, he didn't really play so much in the beginning of the game or while it was tight. So already here, it's as you see, it's the fourth quarter. So he outscored Portugal all by himself. Portugal only scored 7 points in the fourth quarter, and Tristan scored 11 points in the fourth quarter. 11 out of the 33 that Team Germany scored. So he's wide open here. Above the break threes are something that he needs to develop. So this is a great sign for the Magic. This is another one of the shots that he does here on the wings. He does one on each side throughout this game. He did a good job of staying within himself when he was posting up or when he was driving instead of kind of the sweeping hooks and all the other things he was doing. Nice little step back there. Here's his other three from the wing. Nice, fluid, wide open splash. Tristan in this game wasn't much of a factor until the fourth quarter. And even then, as you saw, it was already a 16-point lead by the time he started to get involved offensively. He played a little bit on defense. He played within himself. He played within the game plan for Team Germany throughout the first 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, once things started to get a bit out of hand, then that's when he started to hit threes. And that's when Team Germany started to hit threes, to be honest. Again, this was a poor shooting game for them. It happens. And I think the good thing is that it happened in a game that they still won because it would be a shame to play your worst game of the tournament and then lose that game. So now they have a few days off and they're able to hopefully look at the tape, get some rest, and be able to come out in their quarterfinal match and be able to play much better there. All in all, I think it was a pretty good game for both guys. I know it wasn't a great game for Team Germany. They were in kind of a battle for quite some time, which is a bit surprising, but it's once you get to the round of 16, anything can happen. These are the 16 best teams in the tournament, so even if they're the 16th best that they were playing, it's still they're not they're still formidable. So luckily, Team Germany was able to snap out of it and do well in the fourth quarter to be able to advance, and that's something that is good for us in a way because then it also gives Tristan and Franz again a bit more experience in must-win games. That's what the rest of this tournament's going to be. So I think it's only a good thing that they get the reps in these pressure pack situations, especially Tristan. Franz has already been at the Olympics and he's already won a World Cup and he's won third place at a EuroBasket before. So Franz has been in them before, but Tristan hasn't really. So it's really good experience for Tristan. Hopefully his role is going to be a bit more expanded, as I mentioned. Team in this game looked like he tweaked something in his leg. Hopefully he's okay. Bonga had tweaked something earlier in the tournament. He seems to be okay. They can't lose any more big men, to be honest. But if if Tiemann for some reason isn't able to go, then I think it's going to be a big challenge for Team Germany moving forward. That would also mean Tristan's role would actually have to be bigger for their team. If the rotation is going to be the way it was this game, then Tristan will be relegated kind of to mop up duty in the fourth quarter. And hopefully they're leading enough that he can jack up his threes as he has a little bit at the end of games. But we shall see on that. So if I had to grade them, I'd say Franz with a B game. It wasn't the most efficient. He's still tied for the team lead in points. He tied for the team lead in rebounds, and he led the team in assists. So still best of the team, but it just wasn't as efficient enough for it to be an A game. But just like Franz, a nice B game for him. Still player of the game. And Tristan's was a B as well, I would say, but only because his role wasn't as big as I expected, and for the amount that he did play, he did what was asked of him. Just when he's open, shoot. When he's not open, pass the ball, rotate, get the ball moving. So I'd say a B game just because of the role that he has and how little he played. A B because he shouldn't be docked any for the lack of playing time. Next game is on Wednesday, so now they have 3 days off, which is good for them. There's been a few miles been put on Schroeder and Franz, even though they haven't had to play any games where they've had to really exert themselves the whole 40 minutes. Still, it's always good to have as much rest as possible when it comes to the knockout stages. So we'll see what the next game has in store for Team Germany, Franz and Tristan. So again, thank you very much for watching this video. Again, do the normal YouTube things, hit that like, share the video, drop a comment below letting me know what you thought of the video or how Tristan and Franz played in this game. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 200 before the start of the season. So thank you very much again for watching the video, and I hope you're having a great day.